All right, guys, it's time for me to finally tell you how the process of building my dream studio nearly broke me. Come with me. All right, so welcome. This is it. This is the finished studio. I moved into this house about 5 years ago and I've been kind of picking on this space ever since. But after some significant challenges here, I think that it's finally done. So when I first moved in here, this was just a big old empty drywall room, but I was stoked to be here because this was the first space that was ever truly my own. For those who've been here for a while, you might remember my first workspace was the rec room in my parents' basement. It was pretty janky, but I was just making the best of what was available to me at the time. I then moved into a basement apartment with a small guest room that I worked out of. It was tiny, I quickly outgrew it, but I made a ton of videos there. Then Samurai Jenny and I rented an apartment and the main bedroom there became my studio. Did a lot of work there and again, quickly accumulated a lot of guitars and outgrew the space. We bought this house, I had big plans for this space, huge aspirations, but you know, it was daunting. It seemed really expensive. I moved all my gear in here and just kind of settled into the way it was. But then a series of housing challenges came up that kind of forced me into renovating the studio. Let's flash back to 1.5 years ago. Look at this studio. It is a complete disaster. This is the space where I've shot pretty much all my videos. And I gotta be honest, ever since moving in here, it's never felt all that inspiring to me. I've done my best to make it work with lights and gear, but really it's just a big old drywall box. See, I've wanted to redo the space ever since I moved in here, and I actually wasn't planning on redoing it right now. See that new flooring there? That's because we had some repairs underneath the house. So the carpet had to come up and everything had to get moved aside. And since all my gear has been moved aside, I figured now is as good a time as any to make this a more inspiring space. Starting with the floor, this is the old carpet. I've always hated it. It's ugly, it doesn't feel nice, and it's just a bunch of panels strewn about. And now, just like that, I absolutely love the floor. My next big issue with the way that the studio was there was so much clutter. I don't know if you remember, but there were guitar cases, pedals, boxes, camera stuff lying about everywhere. And so to fix this, I got a door. This door now leads into what will be my closet space, which is where all that clutter is gonna go. A little bit of patching, painting, and of course a trip to IKEA and the rug store. And I think I'm finally ready to move back in. So here's the thing, back when I shot this, I don't know that I was really ready to talk about what a big deal fixing the swamp under my house truly was. It was a big deal. You don't want freestanding water sitting under your house. The fix wasn't simple. There was a large landscaping job to fix the grading in the house. We had to remove and rebuild a deck to get to a certain part. And then the whole perimeter of the basement was cut into so that the crawl space could be properly sealed. But I moved everything in, set everything up. I was thrilled with the way the studio was looking. I shot a bunch of videos in here and I was like, you know what? My studio is finally done. But then another large problem came up. So one fateful day, I woke up to this message from my insurance broker.
Hey, so the inspector found out that all your pipes are made of this material called poly B, which is gonna have to be replaced. Call me when you can.
I remember hearing that thinking, oh, this doesn't sound good. And it wasn't. Replacing all the piping in your house means they have to cut holes everywhere, pull old stuff out, put new stuff in. It was a big thing. And you know what? The main water line goes right through here. So again, the whole studio got blown up, everything had to be moved around. And so with that, I decided to do some cosmetic things around here. I put these wood slats from Costco up, painted the walls blue, and then moved everything back in. And even though fixing these hidden housing problems wore on me mentally and financially, it kind of forced me into turning this studio into the place that I always dreamed it would be. And it feels good to be on the other side of all that and finally be ready to show you around. Now, I think my favorite place in the whole studio is this couch here, but a problem I always face with it is it's not an ideal place to play electric guitar because my amps are all the way on the other side of the room. But the sponsor of today's video, Enya, with their Inspire series guitar, has solved this problem for me. This guitar has been the perfect portable electric guitar package, and I'm not just saying this, it's become one of the ones I play the most because it is just so convenient. Everything here is self-contained. It's got a built-in speaker. What you're hearing is not going through an amp, it's what you hear coming out of the guitar. It's got a built-in amp modeler, 3 pickups, a coil splitter. If I want to play electric guitar, I can now literally do it anywhere. On this couch, it's come with me to the lake. When my kids are falling asleep, sometimes I play it for them. There's an app if you want to dive deeper into the sounds and the effects. And you can also control it with a foot switch. I'm honestly just playing so much more guitar because this floats around my house and it's instantly ready to go. Of course, it's got a 1/4 inch out, so you can use it just like a normal guitar. There's a headphone jack, USB-C charging. I'm so impressed with this. It's become a staple in my life. If you want to check out the Enya Inspire, I'll put a link in the description. Anyways, let me go show you some of the other cool stuff we got going on in here. Now, I think one of the coolest features in this studio is the mood lighting. Check this out. It's all on a remote, so I can turn them on one at a time to set the perfect vibe. As well, I've got some strategic lights rigged up for video purposes, so I don't need to worry about having stands everywhere. As well, if need be, I also have the ability to hit the house lights. The row of amps has got to be some of the most special gear in this studio because they're all built by my favorite amp builder, my dad. Let's go down the lineup, shall we? Steampunk amp, this one is so cool. It's one of the most beautiful, ornate pieces of gear, and it's based on a Fender Champ. This guy here is kind of the sidecar to the motorcycle. It's a spinning speaker system which projects the sound in all different directions, giving you kind of a chorusy Leslie type of sound. Tube overdrive unit here, and then this guy here, this one is especially special. This is a clone of a Fender 5E3. And so the story with this is my first guitar teacher, who has remained one of my dear friends, always talked about how he dreamed of owning a 5E3 amp. And so my dad made us a matching pair of these, and I gave the other one to Adam. This is the first amp that my dad built. He designed it with a fellow named Matt Hansen, and it's based on a number of different amps, and it's really designed to just be a clean, juicy amp that has a warm, beautiful tone to it. And then this is the most recent creation here. This is one that I play through the most. It's based on a Dumble. I don't know how close he's come because I've never actually played through a Dumble, but I love the sound of that. It's been what I've been playing through for the last year or so. It goes through a 4x10 rev speaker, and my only gripe with that is that it's super loud, so I have to send it through an attenuator as not to shake my entire house. Let's move on to one of the most important things in a studio. Sound treatment, which keeps the echoes and the reflections under control, and there's a number of things going on here to deal with this. This diffuser here is actually just a foam thing that I got on Etsy, but it's these Orlex panels that are all around the studio that are really doing the bulk of the heavy lifting here. I love this Orlex stuff. We got some clouds in the ceiling, which do quite a lot, as well as a couple panels on stands, stuff on the door. But I also went and put these acoustic stick-on tiles that I got on Amazon all over the roof. And these wood slats from Costco are meant to deal with some of the acoustics as well. And for what I'm doing in here, which is split between talking to a camera and recording music, I am just so happy with how it sounds. Now we should probably talk about the weird random gear that's lying around the studio. Now, one of the great things about a studio is it gives you a place to display your hordes of gear. And having done so many videos on weird gadgets and instruments and guitar pedals, I really wanted to have some of the stuff out instead of just having it in drawers. From the Plumbus Fuzz to the beer that me and the shop dog has brewed in Spain, the theremin, the canjo, the electric kalimba. All these things were in videos and all of them have memories attached to them. And then the art in here is something that brings me so much joy. These are all from merch designs that are available over at shopsamuraiguitarist.com, but I've kind of just sought out a bunch of artists and then asked them to give me their interpretation of a samurai guitarist, and it's so, so cool to see what they come up with. And then this one, I just love this so much. This is an actual physical painting done by Mike Weiner, and he has a bunch of these that he prices really quite affordably that he's done in this style of various different celebrities and pop culture icons. If you want to check them out, I'll put up a link in the description. And then this over here, my buddy Sean Daniel called this the flex corner because it's got stuff like the YouTube plaques, the degrees, stuff like that, you know. Not too much here at this point in my life, and who knows, maybe we'll be adding some stuff in here soon, one day. Oh, and I got a little secret here for you guys. All these plants that you see around the studio, they're all plastic. None of them are real. There's no natural light in here. Now, as we make our way over to the recording gear, I'll tell you that I've got a free ebook. And in the Samurai Guitar Reference Guide, I go over all the things that every guitar player really should know. This is the resource that would have made my life so much easier when I was learning this stuff, and you can download it for free using the link in the description. Okay, recording gear. Universal Audio Apollo X8P. This is my audio interface. Everything goes through here. It sounds great. It does what I need it to do. I know how it works. Beyond this, all of my effects and stuff are all digital plugins. When I record bass, it goes through the Sans amp, and then I have a Korg tuner above it, so the bass is in tune. These two here are retro synths and a MIDI controller that I bought for a weird guitar video. I honestly have not turned them on since then, and yeah, that's it for the physical stuff. I also don't have a crazy mic collection. The Sennheiser 421 always sits on a guitar cabinet. It's easy to move around. Sennheiser MKH416. This is a shotgun mic. This is my main vocal mic for when I'm recording videos, when I'm not using the camera mic like I am right now. Neumann KM184 and a Royer Ribbon R121 that I'll use on kind of anything else I need to do. And I got a couple other miscellaneous mics lying around, but those ones pretty much cover me for just about everything I do. The two Yamaha HS5 speakers here and the subwoofer that goes along with them. And I'm pretty sure I got these speakers used for like a couple $100. They're nothing fancy. I'm only really using them for a bit of monitoring here and there and listening to music. Most of what I do is in headphones. Any serious tracking or mixing, mastering kind of stuff I want to do, I outsource all of that. And of course, you know we gotta talk guitar pedals. So this is my main pedal board, and things have come on and off this over the years, but it's funny, I've got hundreds of guitar pedals, and a lot of the ones I end up using are ones I bought ages ago. Bought the Cusack Screamer in college. Tube Echo was when I was like 17. I've had the Diamond Compressor forever. I think this tuner was like my second or third pedal I ever bought. And I feel like I've just kind of settled on a lot of my favorite pieces. Some of those are the things that I've been playing for years and are just kind of what I want to hear now. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if this stays more or less the same for, I don't know, 80 years, which would make me 120. Not sure I got 120 in me. And then over in this corner, I've got drawers and drawers of pedals that I've either bought and tried out, I bought for the Weird Pedals series, or I've had sent to me. It's a little bit out of control. There is a ton of good stuff in here that I just don't end up using, and I think at some point I gotta sell off some of this stuff and pare it all down a bit. And then these other drawers, it's just miscellaneous studio stuff that I like to have easy access to. And then the back door here was part of that first big renovation I did. Let's go check out the closet of shame. This is all the stuff that I just never want to look at. Pedal boxes, various guitar cases and bags, miscellaneous music gear, miscellaneous camera gear, it's a drum set here, batteries, guitar things. I got a huge garbage bag full of old strings, that kind of stuff. And then the last big thing that we gotta talk about is the guitars. And there are so many guitars in here. Last I counted, I think it's like 75. And so talking about all the guitars, that's a thing in itself. And I actually shot a video with my friend Sean Daniel that we put over on his channel where I go through this entire crazy collection. But for this video, I'm gonna tell you about the 10 guitars that I would save if there was a fire. So the reason that these ones aren't going up in flames is sentimentality and irreplaceability. Let me tell you a bit about them, starting with the Butterscotch Blontelli. This is the #1 guitar. This is the one that I always go back to. It's the one that I've spent the most time playing. It's a 2004 1952 Fender Telecaster reissue. I special ordered it at the guitar store, and I saved up for it for over a year reffing hockey. Every bit of wear, every scratch, every ding is something that I put there. It's been part of every single musical endeavor that I've been on. This is an Art Lutherie parlor guitar, and of all my guitars, this one actually might be worth the least. I bought it for like $100 as a guitar that I would take traveling with me when I went backpacking around Australia when I was 19, with the idea that it was something small, and if it got stolen, I wouldn't really care that much about losing it. But I played it so much when I was there, it literally has my blood in it. The only time I've ever been busking was downtown Brisbane with only this thing, no other amplification. So I was just hitting it as hard as I possibly could, and yeah, blood all over it, which is probably why I only made $15. I then went on to play it every summer when I was in school for music at my summer job, which was playing guitar in a long-term stay hospital. And that job was just so special. I have so many fond memories of it. You can see it's completely worn in the back, and even though it's only worth, I don't know, maybe $100, this one's coming with me. This one here is a custom-made Gibson 57 reissue Les Paul with a unique candy green finish. It was the first splurge guitar. It felt like a milestone in my career where I got to a point where I could actually spend the money on something like this, and beyond that, it is just a great, great guitar. The next one is my 1968 Fender Telecaster, which is actually currently in the shop right now. But that one's got such a cool story to it. I made a video on that one. A lady posted on my local subreddit and said that she had a vintage guitar for sale. So I called her up, Met her in a parking lot and bought it from her. The guitar had been a prized possession of her late husband, but it also had been really just beat down, had been sanded, there'd been a cutaway in the back, and it wasn't really working. Got it restored, got a new paint job on it, which you would typically never do with a vintage guitar, but this one had been sanded down, so I was like, you know what? Why not? It's such a good guitar. I sent videos and pictures of it to the original owner, and she was just so happy with the way it turned out, so that one's a special one. Gibson non-reverse Firebird from their mod collection over there. So the mod collection are these one-off guitars that Gibson releases every week. I think typically they have like a finish flaw or something, so then they go and do crazy colors and just do weird things to them. I love the 3 P90s. I've never played a neck that's as wide as this one. I don't have a lot of sentimentality towards it. I just know that I'll never be able to replace this one if something were to happen to it. And then we got the guitar that is in this black case here. This is the coolest guitar that I own. It has the coolest story to it, but I'm pretty much sworn to secrecy about it for the indefinite future. But I acquired it from a weird place, and then it became very much murky about whether or not it should actually have been forfeited to like the government or something. And it kind of got to the point where there was just so much gray area. It had already been sent up to me in Canada. I'd already spent a ton of money into getting it all fixed up. And we kind of were just like, you know what? For now, we just can't tell this story. I got it all on film. It's the best, but maybe one day you'll hear about it. From there, we got the Jocko Land Don Stones guitar, and this one's special because this is actually the first guitar that I've ever had given to me. So one of the Patreon perks that I used to offer was at a certain level, you could have monthly, I guess they were Skype sessions with me just to talk and hang out, talk guitar, whatever. So one of the ladies at that level was also a luthier, and she showed me the website of her mentor, and it had this guitar on it, and I was just instantly just so drawn into this. It is just such a cool, unique style. So she pulled some strings, got it sent to me, and this one will always be very special to me because of that. Next, we got another one that's in the shop. I haven't talked about it a ton on this channel, but I have a ES 175 from the 70s. And that guitar was owned by a local jazz player who played it for years and years. It was his main guitar until he passed away and his daughter inherited it. She was looking to sell it to raise money for her wedding, so I bought the guitar from her. It's a super cool guitar, and it's got that cool story behind it too. And then we have the 1979 Fender Antigua Burst Strat. A lot of people hate this color. I personally love it. I also love the hard-tailed Strat. I got it refretted, it plays so good, and the thing that makes this one very much irreplaceable is that it is in like as close to mint condition as you could ever find on a guitar that's almost 50 years old. I also really quite like the strange finish on it. It's one of the go-to ones that I play regularly. And then the final one here is an ES 395 by Gibson. Soon I'm going to make a video on this one to tell the full story, but it's something that I've had in the works with Gibson for like, I don't know, almost 7 years now. See, I've always loved the ES 295, the Scotty Moore guitar, and I thought it would be so cool to see that in a 335 style body, which had never existed. And so when I first brought up the idea to Gibson, they're like, okay, that's really cool, but that's gonna take some time, so let's start the ball rolling. It took quite a while to price it out, save up some money, and by the time I was like, okay, let's make this happen, they had just moved their hollow body and semi-hollow body from, I guess it was Memphis to Nashville, which was delaying everything. So there's already backlog, then COVID hit, and everything got even further delayed. And then when the guitar itself was built, we got hung up on some small details. Getting these cream pickup covers turned out to be pretty much impossible. And then the customized pickguard here was something that I ended up having to get my dad to make. And I've had it for a bit now. I haven't showed it to you guys on this channel yet because I wanted to make a video on it first, but clearly that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, at some point I got to tell the full story behind it because there are a lot of details that I'm glossing over here. But that one is one of my favorite guitars and I play it regularly. And then there's many other guitars in and around the studio. People always want to know how I pick the ones for these cases here, which, by the way, my dad also built these cases. There's no real rhyme or reason there. I just kind of swap them out based on what I feel like looking at. And then the ones on this wall are all from the Weird Guitar series. They're visually striking, and it's cool to have them out because, A lot of them aren't super practical, and I don't think I would ever do anything with them if they weren't out on display. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That's the studio tour. Remember, you can check out the sponsor of today's video, Enya, using the link in the description. I've also got a link to my free ebook down there, and you can check out the video that we did over at Sean's channel, where I go through a whole bunch of other guitars. And by picking up some of that Sammy G merch over at shopsamuraiguitarist.com, it's a great way to support the channel. We got a whole bunch of designs, styles, and colors over there. Till next time, look after yourselves, look after each other, look after the planet. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I'll see you again soon.